Every now and then, I would take out one of our photo albums and then I would sit down. I would flip through every page and I would look at every single picture and I will ask myself two questions: what I was doing at that time and why I was doing it. As I was flipping through the pages, I would see a flurry of smiles, laughs, friends, and relatives. But behind those smiles, behind those grins and laughs, I would always see a big scar, the scar of our mistakes. We make a lot of mistakes through life, but as we look back at our old childhood memories, we will start to see a pattern. The mistakes that we made are mistakes that we never actually made again. Thinking back through life, we would actually realize that we learn most of our skills from our mistakes. Walking, biking, packing your own bag, just to name a few. Your mistakes were very important in your learning cycle. It was actually one of the most essential parts of your and my learning, childhood, and our experiences. But now, children are being deprived of the opportunity to learn through their mistakes, and most importantly, the opportunity to again have a happy childhood. The cause? Helicopter parenting. Helicopter parenting is when the parent constantly solves all of the child's problems for them, making all of the decisions on behalf of the child. Of course, most adults don't understand. Whenever the children are left independent to make their own decisions, although adults are overwhelmed by the fear of them being released into the hostile society. But helicopter parenting is an extreme. It's where the parent protects the child so much from the world's problems that it actually causes havoc in the child's development and the child's decision-making skills, especially since decision-making skills are made through trial and error. If the child isn't given an opportunity to utilize their decision-making skills, in the end, they would become dependent on others. And a lot of people say that their ego will also drop as they lose belief in their own decisions. For instance, if a parent constantly keeps solving all of their child's problems for them, writes all of their child's college applications, and all the child does is follow the parent's decisions, the child will be clueless about what to do when he or she is released into society. There are other cases where parents don't let their children learn essential skills by doing it for them. For instance, if a parent constantly keeps packing their child's own bag, the child in the future, for instance, will be more likely to forget an important paper to work. What does this lead to? Numerous psychologists say that this leads to a higher chance of mental illness and psychological problems, especially because your ego of your decisions drastically drop when your parents make decisions for you. However, there are many cases where helicopter parents also start repressing their kids. They have to take the biology course, they have to take medicine, they have to become a doctor, they have to get an A on geology. And those are often paired by threats. I will leave the house if you don't get an A, or I'll throw you in the street is a common one. This actually only burdens the student more, for if they fail that geology course, for instance, they not only fail themselves, but their parents too. And this also leads to suicidal thoughts, since many children under this type of parenting actually don't really enjoy what they're forced to study, and they don't see the point of doing something boring over and over again. However, there's even more repressive parenting, which has its own type of category. It's called tiger parenting. Tiger parenting is where the parent forces the child to do certain activities through forceful ways. It's where the child is repressed and is completely obliged by force. Of course, the short-term the short-term educational merits are outstanding and far surpasses that of other types of parenting. However, according to the American Psychological Association, or APA, children with supporting parenting overall are the ones with the highest grade point averages, the highest socioeconomic adjustment, and have the best long-term family relationships. Now, a few years ago, I was walking down a sidewalk with my mom, and the moment I took a sharp turn, and the moment I realized what was happening in front of me, I instantly froze in shock. In front of me was a little boy about my age at the time who was literally being dragged by his mother, and apparently the boy didn't want to go to his math academies. So I was completely shocked. Not by the fact that such a young boy would go to academies, not by the fact that he was crying hysterically on the floor, but I was shocked by the fact that the hand obliging him to go was not his own but his mom's. As I stand here and speak, I speak here with hope. Hope that if I ever see that boy again, that boy would have control of his own life. I hope that the hand obliging him to go would be his own hand. I hope that when we look back at our childhood, we see a life that we made ourselves, not our friends, not our relatives, not our family. And I speak here with hope that all of us will have the opportunity to have a fun, happy childhood. Every time, hours after the light goes off in the house, there are parents who still sit in their bed and worry about their child's SAT scores, AP, and college applications. And there are children who worry about failing their own parents and how their life will go on. But life is long, and if you focus on every little piece of life, that will ruin the overall big picture. Thank you.